So I was trying to find a way to store my files, photos and videos more efficiently and in an easy way. I'm sure you guys would agree that it's a pain to see your computer drives getting full or storing stuff on an external hard drive and worrying that you might lose your data. More importantly, I wanted to find a way where I can easily save my phone videos and photos directly to a private hard drive and not paying monthly for a cloud subscription like Google Drive, Dropbox, and even without connecting it physically. If you're on the same boat, I'm going to show you how you can create your own little private cloud with a tiny orangepi and some hard drives. In this video, I'm going to talk about this blue box which you see on the screen, which essentially talks about how you can install NAS as a home server. But first and foremost, we will briefly talk about what exactly is NAS. So NAS is an acronym for Network Attached Storage, which is a magical world where you can store your data on network. Consider that you have a PC, laptop, mobile devices, or even a TV, and you want to save some files or read files without attaching an external hard drive or connecting your phone to the system. Not only this, you also want to create some mechanism where all your data has an automatic backup. So in case your main drive fails, you still can access your data. NAS helps you to do all of the above, and it's so easy to set up. There are quite a few NAS softwares in the market, but in this video, we are going to install OpenMediaVault, also known as OMV. If you are looking for a good NAS software for Linux, I think OMV is the best option. It is based on Debian Linux, which makes it quite easy to work with. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into it. To start with, I'm going to use two 8TB of hard drive. These are SATA hard drives. The reason I chose them is because later on I can reuse them when building a bigger NAS server using Intel or AMD CPU. Again, the reason of choosing two hard drives is because I will make one of my hard drive as the main drive and the other one as the backup. For the next part, I'm going to choose orangepi 3 LTS as my main board, but you can essentially choose Raspberry Pi or any other thing. In this board you have 3.0 USB and the other one is 2.0 USB, a 1 gig Ethernet connection, and a place to hold your microSD card. Since I'm using SATA hard drives, I would also need a USB to SATA connector. One other reason I chose SATA hard drives over USB hard drives is to power it through an external power source, which makes sense if you are using a small board like Raspberry Pi or an orangepi. To tie everything together, I'm just using zip ties. I know it's not the ideal way, but for this video I'm just going to make everything look more clean and tidy. But probably for my next video I'm going to show you how you can have a beautifully looking case for this NAS server. If you want to get notified for that, do subscribe so that you can receive a notification whenever I upload the next video. So now I'm just going to attach all the cables together, including the SATA to USB connector, the power supply and other stuff. So here we will put our microSD card in which we will install Debian OS. To install it, I'm going to go on orangepi 3 LTS official website and I'm going to install the official image Debian. Make sure that you select Debian Bullseye because that's the image what we are looking for our NAS server as well. The microSD card is already connected to my PC, and now we have to burn this image. For that I'm going to use Win32 disk imager, and I'm just going to select the image which I want to burn over my microSD card. So that's done. I just ejected it, and I'm going to put the microSD card inside the slot given in OrangePi. And now it's time to plug everything together. To power OrangePi, we're gonna use USB-C connector. And I'm going to plug this Ethernet cable onto my network switch. So everything is looking pretty neat and clean. The next step is to install the software. For that, we'll again go to my PC and log into my internet service provider to get the IP address for the OrangePi. Now we're going to SSH into our OrangePi using the IP address we just found. The user is root and the first time password is OrangePi. The first two commands which we need to enter is sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade, which will basically just install the latest updates for our Debian OS. Since the updates are done, now it's time to install our OpenMediaVault, which is basically a software for us which you can find over this link. We just need to copy this command and run it on our OrangePi. By the way, you can find all the commands in the description as well. So after a few minutes it says IP address may change and you might have lost your connection. So basically what you have to do is you have to log in again to your internet service provider and you have to fetch the new IP address. For me this time it has changed to 118, so I'm going to just log in into it again. To check if my OpenMediaVault is up and running, I can fire this command and it says that it is active and it is running from past 3 minutes. We're gonna go back to our web browser to check if it is actually running. And yes, it works. So the default user and password is admin and OpenMediaVault. Again, everything is in the description. You can just simply copy and paste it. And here is our NAS server up and running. Just to quickly check if our SATA hard drives are showing up or not. We're gonna go to this, and yes, it is showing our two 8TB hard drives. The next thing we wanna do is to change our password from default. For that, I'm going to enter a new password. In case you have some existing data in hard drives and you want to wipe it out, you can simply select it and click on this wipe button. Since these are new hard drives for me, I don't have to wipe anything. And now we have to create a new file system from our existing hard drive. So I'm gonna click on create. So here I accidentally selected ext3, but make sure that you select ext4 and your hard drive and then click on save. For me, since I had 8TB of hard drive, it took me around 5 to 6 hours, but it generally depends on the size of your hard drive. Once it is done, I'll simply mount it and I'll give a 80% threshold so that I get a warning whenever my hard drives are 80% full. The second last step is to create a shared folder. So again, I'm going to just create a new shared folder under the storage, and I'm going to select my recently created file system. You can give any name. I'm giving NAS, and I'm selecting my new file system which I recently created. I'll leave it as default and I'll just click on save. You might need to check your permission. For me, I'm going to give read and write permission to both the user and the group, and then click on save. And once I applied the changes, I'm going to go under services, click on SMB and then settings, enable the SMB, which basically helped me to mount this drive onto my Windows or Mac, and then click on save. I'm going to go back on the SMB page, click on share, and here I am going to create a new share so that I can mount it onto my Windows machine. So I'm going to select my new shared folder. I'm going to leave everything as default and click on save. Now I'm going to show you how you can use this in your Windows machine. You just basically need to provide your IP of the orangepi and then the file system. Provide the username and password. And we are able to log into our orangepi NAS server now, which is up and running. So I went ahead and created some folder structure, and now I'm going to show you the approximate speed what I'm getting when I copy a large file. So I'm using around 2.5 gig of file, and when I drop it down, I'm getting an average speed of around 60 megabytes per second, which is, I think, quite sufficient for me, given that this is running on an orangepi and using a USB connection. So this shows me that this whole file will be copied in around 25 seconds, which is quite nice since it is like a 2.5 gig of file. So I'm quite happy with this. The last example I want to talk about is how I was able to save my videos directly from my iPhone to this NAS server. As you can see, there are a bunch of files which basically I used and created for this YouTube video. And from my iPhone, I was able to directly mount this drive and save videos and photos onto this NAS server. So comment down below if you are interested to see how you can directly transfer your photos and videos from your iPhone to your NAS server. I actually went ahead and started using files from my NAS in my editing software without copying anything locally, which is very useful for me. I do hope you find this video helpful. In the next videos of NAS series, I am going to show you how you can turn this as your own streaming platform like Netflix, how to design and print a NAS case, and how to create a backup of your files. Until next time.